Good morning and welcome to Homepage, a public affairs feature of 93.7 K Country and Wind FM 92.5, 95.5, and 107.9. I'm Kathy Dugan, and my guest this morning is Andrea Melvin. She is the office manager for the Center of Independent Living of North Central Florida in Ocala.
Good morning.
We are so happy to have you here. I was doing a little research. I like to do a little research before you come in, so I know what I'm talking to you about. And y'all got a lot going on at the Center for Independent Living. So let's start with how this all began. Ed Roberts, the father of independent living movement, who established the very first center, he enabled all people with disabilities to fully participate in society. And now y'all have been here in North Central Florida for more than 35 years. How long have you been with the company?
I have been with the Center for Independent Living for 18 and a half years.
That's fantastic. So you must really love your job.
I do.
And what you do is you empower individuals with disabilities. So you're just helping people. What is independent living for people who don't know, who don't really think of it on a daily basis?
Well, we work with people with all types of disabilities. So physical, mental health, sensory, cognitive, you name it. If you have some sort of disability that limits you in some form of functioning and as far as life, you qualify for our services. Really, our goal is to help you to be as independent as possible. So whatever that is for you, it's really a lot about consumer choice with us, because we work with some people who are very independent as far as their daily life, but they need a little bit of assistance in getting and maintaining a job.
Okay. All right.
So everything from that level to somebody maybe who lives in a group home but wants to be able to, do a few more things for themselves where they're currently living.
You offer a lot of services. You have 5 core services, though: advocacy, independent living, peer support, information and referral, and transition. So let's start with advocacy.
Advocacy is where we can help you if you're having trouble navigating some sort of bureaucratic quagmire. We can help you navigate that process. Now, we are not attorneys. We don't claim to be attorneys.
No.
But if you need some assistance kind of navigating through the Social Security process, we can help you with applying for Social Security benefits. If you're getting forms that you don't understand what they're asking or don't know how to respond or would have trouble responding appropriately to those questions, we can help you fill out forms, because a lot of those forms are very tricky, and how you answer the questions can be the difference as to whether or not you're approved for some other people's services.
Nice. Don't you love when they put a bunch of big words on there and you're sitting there going, can you just put this in just regular terms that everybody can understand?
And you need like 4 sentences and they give you space for 1.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Knowing how to word things for a lot of people can be really important. For someone, say, who has a brain injury and has trouble kind of organizing and sort of coalescing those thoughts, I've worked with a few people that it's whatever form you have, let's make a copy of it first. And we've got notes here, notes there, notes. And then once we get all the notes, it's now we can transfer it onto the real form where we can condense it and it will all make sense.
That's a great idea for anybody. Actually make a copy of any forms that you have, because how many times have we scribbled out stuff on forms?
Exactly.
That is a fantastic idea, period. Tell me more about independent living, how you help with that.
We have independent living workshops that meet once a week. Here in Ocala, it's Wednesday mornings, 10:30 to 11:30. And the topics can kind of change based upon what our consumers tell us they need to learn. There's usually kind of a theme for the month. For example, during Heart Health Month, that's kind of what they focus on. The last Wednesday of the month is always cooking class, and everything that we cook can be made in under an hour, since the class is only an hour long, and it's either toaster oven, microwave, or hot plate, because we don't have a full kitchen at our office. It's always easy, and at least half the time it's something healthy.
Well, that's good. And what's really nice is there's so much we take for granted. We throw together a meal real quick. Not everybody can do that. And to have that ability to just sit down and even just do something quick in the microwave or toaster oven or hot plate, that just brings so much joy to somebody.
Mm-hmm. You may know that you want chicken, but you don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So having a recipe you can follow makes it so much easier.
What about the peer support that goes on?
Peer support in the Ocala office is mostly done either one-on-one or by phone.
Okay.
Because we have our offices in Gainesville and Ocala, but from those 2 offices, we cover 16 counties of North Central Florida.
Wow. You're kind of like us. We cover a whole bunch of counties too.
Right. So peer support is really a person with a disability talking with another person with a disability just to kind of help you get through some stuff that you've got going on.
Somebody who understands you.
Yes. Somebody who's been there, done that.
And has some of the answers, maybe.
Yes.
Somebody who is like you or who has gone through what you've gone through means much more than anybody else.
And is willing and able to listen. Now, in our Gainesville office, we also have a peer support group that meets weekly. That group meets on Thursday afternoons at 1 o'clock. But I would say call the Gainesville office first. If you've never been before, let them know that you want to come.
Now, what about your information and referral?
This is the only core service that anyone can access.
Really?
You don't necessarily have to have a disability.
Okay.
You can just call our office and ask us a question.
Okay.
Information and referral runs everything. We get phone calls from, is there a support group for this in Marion County? To, can you pay my light bill? Well, no, we can't pay your light bill, but let's see if we can find you some resources for somebody who might be able to pay your light bill.
Wow. You guys do a lot. And then, of course, transition. Now, how does that work?
There's two different kind of prongs to transition. The first is youth transition. So that's helping youth with disabilities who are either graduating or aging out of the school system to figure out, now what am I going to do?
Right. I have no clue.
So that can be with learning to live more independently, getting them access to post-secondary training, jobs, all of those types of things. The other prong of transition is nursing home transition, helping people with disabilities transition out of nursing homes back into the community. Because say you're 40 years old and maybe you have a high-level spinal cord injury, you may have had a family caregiver, but whenever that caregiver, if something happens to them, they're no longer able to care for you,
Right.
then you might end up in a nursing home.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're here and you're 40 years younger than everybody else who's there, and that's just
Yeah, it's
not
just
going to
not-
be the best environment.
No,
for
it's
you.
not.
Much better served back in your own home with a personal care attendant.
You have a lot of supportive programs as well, tons of them. Can you tell me about some of them?
Sure. The first one is High School High Tech.
Okay.
So that is an enrichment program for high school students with disabilities. And we have that program in Marion, Levy, Alachua, Bradford, and Putnam County. It's an enrichment program. They have workshops either during or after school. They do educational field trips. So some of those are to like post-secondary training institutions. They will do industry site tours. They have guest speakers come in. So they're really trying to expose the students to a lot of different educational and work environments so that they can figure out what they want to do once they graduate.
That's a really good resource. You also have your employment services, what kind of goes hand in hand with that.
Our employment services program is one of our largest programs. I'm actually also a certified vocational evaluator. I will get referrals both from vocational rehab and Division of Blind Services. The vocational evaluation is different assessments, looking at the person's work history, maybe some limitations because of their disability, and kind of putting all those pieces together to figure out what kinds of jobs are good for them, what they like, what exists in the local labor market, what they're good at, what skills do they have to try to help them to find their niche.
Well, yeah, everybody wants to find that.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. You do a lot.
That's one piece of the employment. Then we have our employment services, which is a contract with vocational rehabilitation, and we do job placement and on-the-job training opportunities.
Oh, that's neat.
So helping people, if they don't have much work experience, we can maybe set them up into an on-the-job training opportunity, which is usually a couple of months for them to learn some skills. At the end of that OJT, then the employer has the option of hiring that person on or saying, no, we really don't have a spot for them right now.
Right.
But at least they've learned some work skills.
Sure they have, yeah.
And that is super beneficial both for the youth and for anybody who's been out of the workforce for a few years.
Sure, it's probably really good for the employer, too, who needs to learn more about people with disabilities. You know, it helps them a lot. It shows them these people do just fine. These are good, hardworking people.
Absolutely. They just need an employer who's willing to give them a chance.
That's awesome. And we have so many great people in our area that will give them a chance. Wow.
And with our job placement, we'll help them with, employability skills if they need those before obtaining employment. We can assist with the interview process if they need that. Some of our consumers don't. They just needed a little practice interview, then they're fine to go do the interview on their own.
Good for them. I stink at interviews. I'm terrible at job interviews. That's why I've been here so long. I don't want to leave.
But once we place someone on a job, we will monitor their progress for at least the first 90 days of employment. If they need a little job coaching, we'll come in and do job coaching. We're there to make sure that if there's any issues, we can resolve them when they're small issues before it gets to the point of quit or you're going to be fired.
Right.
For supported employment, we monitor those folks for at least the first 150 days of employment.
Okay.
And even after that time period, if you have a question, just give us a call. We'll work on it.
You stay in touch with a lot of the people then
We do.
that you assist. Now, what about your youth programs and groups? You do a lot with the youth. A lot.
A lot of the stuff of our youth in Ocala is either the employment-related programs and high school high tech. In Gainesville, they also have youth socials, and they also have, during the day, there's a U2 group, which meets certain times during the year for youth up to age, I believe it's up to 25 with disabilities. So that's kind of a separate independent living skills group.
And they have the social group that they do, ages 14 to 24. That's for people with disabilities interested, just kind of having fun and bonding with other people and hanging out. And you can definitely call the Gainesville office and find out more about that, set something up with them.
Yes.
And they're on Southwest 36th Terrace in Gainesville, so they sound like they're having some fun going on there.
Yes.
You do travel training. What's that about?
That's a piece of the ADA paratransit screenings.
Okay. No.
And we do those both in Alachua and Marion County.
Okay, so what is the ADA paratransit eligibility?
It's a little complicated.
Okay.
So ADA paratransit follows along within 3/4 of a mile of the city bus routes for a person who, because of their disability, can't access the regular city bus.
Okay.
Either because of they can't physically get to the bus stop or can't get from the bus stop to their destinations. Could be with mental health if, say, they have panic attacks on a full bus because that's way too many people.
Sure.
For cognitive disabilities, if they would get lost getting from, for example, if they would get lost getting from the bus stop to their destination.
Sure.
Or easily swayed.
Like you're walking to your destination, go, oh, look over there. I'm going to go this way now.
Or somebody says, hey, follow me.
oh.
You know, so we have the paratransit eligibility, and we do those applications both in Gainesville and Ocala. So in Ocala, Marion Transit is who provides the paratransit service. We do the applications for that if you live within 3/4 of a mile of the bus route.
All right.
Marion Transit has other funding sources for folks who are outside of that area but still in Marion County.
Okay.
So they have multiple pots of money. A lot of times somebody will call Marion Transit to set it up, and they may just have them call us first. Oh, wait a minute, you're outside the area. So then you have to call Marion Transit back, tell them you're outside the area.
Okay.
Because then they may be able to still transport the person, but under a different pot of money. In Ocala, we don't make the eligibility decisions. Those are made by Suntran. It's kind of a complicated process.
All right.
But we do try to talk people through the whole process whenever they come in to see us.
That's super helpful because I imagine it could get really confusing for them.
Yes.
So that's part of the whole travel training.
That would be for someone who maybe they're currently using paratransit, but they want to use the regular city bus.
Okay. Yeah.
So that could be training them on how to get from your home to the closest bus stop, riding the bus with them, learning how to make transfers if they need to make transfers.
that can be confusing.
Yes. Or getting from the bus stop to their, say they're wanting to, learn how to take the bus because they're getting a job.
Yeah.
So how to get from the bus stop to their new job.
That's fantastic. You also do something that's really cool. You help with wheelchair ramp construction.
We do that in several counties. We don't do a lot in Marion County because we have the SHIP program here.
Now, what is that?
If you need a ramp in Marion County, feel free to call us and we can give you the correct phone number.
You just kind of help everybody out as
We
they
do.
need it.
In Gainesville and in some of the other surrounding rural counties, we do get some funds to build wheelchair ramps. We get a lot more requests than there is ever funding. So there's the funding for materials, funding for labor, or finding a contractor who's maybe willing to donate labor.
And you can donate. You can go to CILNCF.org And you can find out more information. Actually, you can go directly to cilncf.org/contribute. And $1,000 provides payment toward ramp supplies for a person with a disability who can't be independent in their own home. So
Right.
$1,000, you look at that over a year. We've talked about how often people go out to dinner. Over the course of a year, you're spending about $3,000 going out to dinner. Okay, so don't go out to dinner as much, and you're helping somebody be independent.
To be able to get in and out of their own home
Yeah.
easily.
That's wonderful.
Where in the past they may have had to have someone carry them up the steps.
Which to them could be very embarrassing or degrading.
Right. Over time, that can really hurt the person who's doing the carrying too.
Sure, yeah. $1,000. Come on, people. You can do this.
Absolutely.
You guys do so much. You do peer mentoring, which is wonderful. We talked a little bit about peer support, and peer mentoring probably is really, really helpful.
Those two really are very similar. Some of the peer mentoring that's been starting recently is youth peer mentoring, and it's within that program, the mentor has to be within 5 years older of the mentee.
Okay.
So it's really age matched as
That's
well.
good. That's really good. That's very helpful for people. You do sign language interpreters, I understand.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
Sign language interpreters are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Most of those night and weekend calls are either the emergency room or the jail.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately.
Well, yeah, I could see that. Unfortunately.
But if you need a sign language interpreter, it is never the deaf person's responsibility to pay for the interpreter. It is the responsibility of whether it's a doctor's office or a school or whatever the jail or whatever it.
Right.
That's whose responsibility it is to pay for an interpreter.
Okay.
It's always best to give at least a couple of days notice because there are not enough sign language interpreters in this area.
So you definitely need people to come in and volunteer and do this.
Well, you have to be certified.
Okay.
And that's, I believe the certifications now, you have to have a degree in order to sit for the certification exam. For
Oh,
sign
my
language,
goodness.
To be a certified interpreter.
Wow.
So that's part of the reason why there's so few, because it's not a degree, if you're trying to get a degree in interpreting, it's not offered a lot of places.
And you think that it would be because there are a lot of hearing impaired and deaf people that need that kind of help. You really, wow.
Right.
See, there's a career opportunity out there.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
And American Sign Language is a different language with its own grammar structure. So if you're trying to just kind of get by writing notes back and forth, a lot of times it may not make sense because ASL's grammar structure is totally different from English.
And I never realized, it's like, American Sign Language. We just call it American Sign Language because it's sign language. No, it's different in other countries.
And there are also some regional differences within the United States. We have a deaf staff member in our office, Colleen Metcalf, who has been there for, I believe it's 23 years.
You go, Colleen.
She has at least 6 different ways to sign birthday.
Oh my gosh. I know one. That's it. That's incredible. Wow. And that could be regional differences. That could be from different, Canada may have, they have different, Mexico.
Yes. Right. And then there are home signs for someone who maybe didn't start out going to school, didn't learn ASL as a young child. They may have had a different sign for something at home.
Oh my goodness. There's a lot of components to that. You work with medical equipment. You provide some medical equipment to people?
We do have a durable medical equipment loan closet. All of that equipment is available free of charge for as long as you need it. We will rent out walkers, wheelchairs, shower chairs, canes, and we are always looking for donations of that type of equipment, as long as it is in good working condition, because we don't have the funds to repair anything right now.
And those funds are kind of expensive as well. That's another thing, you can help donate with. $250 provides payment toward Manual and Power wheelchair repairs, which is so, so helpful to people.
Yes.
So, that's not a lot.
Or buy a shower chair and donate it to us.
Yes. Anything.
Shower chairs and manual wheelchairs go out almost as soon as they come in.
Really?
Yes. We encounter a lot of people that maybe they make $20 too much to qualify for Medicaid, but they may not have insurance, or they have just the very basics on the insurance, which doesn't cover the shower chair that they're going to need for a few months.
That kills me because it's like you make $20 too much. $20 too much is nothing. It's
Exactly.
nothing. So all the help that you can get, definitely. You have great workshops. You have fantastic special events. In fact, one of them that's coming up is your third annual Emergency Preparedness Expo for people with disabilities.
Yes, that is scheduled for March 11th from 8:30 to 1 at the Ed Kroski Center in Ocala. We will have various vendors set up from both disability-related agencies and emergency preparedness groups. We have 4 speakers set. Bill Quinlan is coming from TV20 to talk about weather and disasters. We have Chris Weber from Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs talking
Yeah.
about what's the difference between a service animal, an emotional support animal, a therapy animal, and a pet. There are different legalities in
Yeah.
all of those categories. We also have Rocky Ramirez coming from Regions Bank to talk about your money and disasters. And then Robert Sullivan from the Marion County Sheriff's Department Emergency Operations Center. He's the special needs coordinator, so he's in charge of the special needs shelters.
And we talk about those a lot during hurricane season. We have those special needs shelters that we
Yes.
try to give you all the information on.
But if you're going to need or potentially need to go to a special needs shelter, you need to get registered for that in advance. And you will be able to do that at the event.
Okay, that's something I didn't know. I thought you could just go. So that's fantastic to know.
If it's a dire emergency, generally you can still go, but it's very helpful for them to know in advance who's coming
Sure.
and what needs they have.
Then they can prepare.
Yes.
Wow, this is going to be an incredible event. It's in its 3rd year now.
Yes.
And it's just going to be wonderful. Ed Kroski Rec Center, that's on Northwest 4th Street in Ocala. You can be a vendor. You're still looking for vendors.
Yes, we are.
And you can contact Kevin Tolles at 352-368-3788. Kevin also has an email address, and I'll spell his name for you. KTOWLES, Tolles at CILNCF.org.
And registration is open for this event. You just go to our website, CILNCF.org. We have registration available in both English and Spanish.
Nice.
The event is completely free. We're just asking people to register in advance, so that way we make sure that we have enough seats and we have enough snacks.
Snacks are always good.
Yes.
And seats.
Well, we start at 8:30, so there will be coffee.
Nice. Yes, to keep you awake. It's just an incredible event, because when you're in a situation where you're disabled and maybe you are living on your own, it's even more scary to be in a situation like a hurricane or a tornado or a flood. And this will help so much.
And this is not just information for people with disabilities, but it's for seniors, for anyone who has any sort of functional access need. And we are also in the process of planning similar expos in Alachua County and Sumter County. I know that the date for Sumter County is May 15th. We haven't gotten much further in the planning process on that yet, and Alachua County is just getting started.
But the fact that it's happening is wonderful, and it's just a great resource. Like you said, whether you are somebody who is disabled, who have a disability, you're a caregiver, or maybe you just want to go and learn more. Maybe your neighbor is somebody who's living independently and is disabled, and you can help your neighbor that way as well.
Absolutely.
You've got some fantastic speakers. Now, we know Bill Quinlan quite well, and he will definitely get you prepared for that. And Chris Weber, Rocky Ramirez, and Robert Sullivan, all fantastic folks. You guys do so much good for this community, but you really need those donations coming in. You take corporate sponsorships, of course.
Absolutely.
Those are nice to have, aren't they?
Yes.
You can donate your time. You can donate money if you want to donate money. I mean, it could be $25. That's a bus pass for a week, or supplies for a classroom.
Right.
And I bet you run through them really fast.
Yes, especially with the independent living skills classes, especially with cooking class, because we have to provide all the food for everyone.
Sure. That doesn't come cheap. $50, full tank of gas for somebody who maybe has some transportation needs.
Yes, because a lot of times, especially with our employment consumers, and if they haven't been working for several years, They may need gas to be able to get to interviews, or say they get the job, they may not have the money for gas to pay to get to work until they get that first paycheck.
I know, yeah, and they need that, and that's helping them out. And it's not much; it's $50, $75, an outfit and shoes for a job interview. Things that a lot of us take for granted.
Or someone who maybe they hadn't planned on getting a job where maybe they need non-skid shoes or they need steel-toed boots.
Yep.
And they don't have the money to pay for those, but we've got to get them quickly so that they can start the job.
And that helps. That's $75. $100, that's a bicycle for someone who needs transportation to work. They can get themselves to and from work every day.
Yes.
I mean, $100, nothing at all. And like we said, the $250 for payment toward manual and power wheelchair repairs, $400. That's 2 summer internship stipends for high school high-tech students. Now, what kind of internships?
The internships can be in whatever career they have an interest in. We've had people, I know Gainesville has had several people who did internships in the IT department at Santa Fe.
Sweet.
At Santa Fe College. We've had consumers here. We've had some at CF before. It really varies based upon what they're interested in. Vets offices. We do a lot of OJTs at one of the local groomers. Bathing dogs and learning some of the basics of grooming.
So you can help provide that $500. You can help provide payment toward utilities or rent for somebody who's just not quite making it. And then, of course, the $1,000, we like to see that to help out with those ramps so that people continue to live independently.
Yes, or for someone who maybe recently acquired a disability to be able to come home out of a rehab facility.
Yeah, because they recover so much better in their own home. They're going to be happier in their own home.
Yes.
You guys do so much. I had no idea the amount of incredible work that you all do. And you've got to have great coworkers. I mean, you've been there 18 years.
We do. We have a fabulous team at the center, both in our Gainesville office and our Ocala office. We are one big center. And our Ocala office is actually, we're looking to be moving within a couple of months because we've really outgrown our current space.
Wow.
Sales aren't final yet.
Okay.
But we do look to be moving within a couple of months. Hopefully everything will be closing at the end of this month.
She's got her fingers crossed.
Yes. Fingers, eyes, toes.
Oh, wow. Are you like super excited about the move too?
Yes, because with the building that we're hoping to get, we'll be moving from 2,000 square feet to 3,500 square feet.
That's a huge difference. You can help so many more people and do so much more with that space.
Yes. Another thing that we can do is we can provide disability awareness trainings for employers, for community groups. If you'd just like to learn a little bit more about person-first language, interacting with people with disabilities, we can absolutely do that. And also within our emergency preparedness area, in addition to doing these expos, we also do a lot of work with the emergency preparedness folks.
Oh, wow.
So with the different counties and health departments and things like that in multiple counties to try to make sure that they're including people with disabilities in the planning process.
That's a great thing that you're doing. You've got to feel great going home at the end of the day, knowing that you helped at least one person that day, if not many more.
Absolutely.
What a great job. What a great service you guys provide. I'm going to give you guys that number. There's actually a toll-free number that you can get in touch with. 1-800-265-5724. And you've got a great Facebook page. You guys actually stay up to date on it. I'm so proud of you.
Yes, we do.
Facebook.com/Florida Center for Independent Living. Just spell out the whole thing. And of course, you can go to the website as well, CILNCF.org/contribute. We like that one because you can donate your time, your money, corporate sponsorships, all sorts of ways that you can help out with the Center for Independent Living of North Central Florida. Andrea, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
My guest today has been Andrea Melvin, Ocala Satellite Office Manager for the Center for Independent Living of North Central Florida. Homepage is presented as a public affairs feature of 93.7 K Country and Wind FM 92.5, 95.5, and 107.9. Your comments are always welcome, and you can email me at homepage@ncfmgroup.com. You can also listen to Homepage by going to our websites at 937kcountry.com and windfm.com. I'm Kathy Dugan. Please join us again next Sunday for Homepage.